Hey everybody, so we've had the moment that we've all been waiting for. Recently, Bernie Sanders was asked to address this notion that his supporters won't support Joe Biden in the general election, and he gives the perfect response, the response that I wish that he'd been giving in the primary. So let's take a look and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Will vote for him, because remember what happened in 2016 when about a quarter did not vote for Hillary Clinton.
No, that's not true. Christiane, that is not true. It was not a quarter of our voters who did not vote for Hillary Clinton. That is a false number.
So if my figure was wrong, there was nonetheless a significant Bernie or bust, number. But my question to you is this, that there are still, according to the polls, despite the lead that Biden holds right now, there are still young people who are less than excited and progressives in the minority communities. Are you confident now that they will do what you're saying, come to vote because of the gravity of this moment?
But let me go back a moment on your numbers. My understanding is more people who voted for Hillary Clinton in 2008 voted for John McCain than people who voted for me in 2016 who voted for Trump. But to answer your question, I think what the Biden campaign does understand is that we did really, really well among young people, white and black and Latino, Native American, Asian American. We did pretty badly among older people. And what I think the Biden campaign understands, they're going to have to reach out and bring those people into the fold.
Have you ever seen a more perfect answer to a question? I mean, that was just he hit it out of the park. And even, I mean, he's just such a nice guy. The way he even corrected her, he was like, well, to my understanding, this is what happened. It's not to his understanding. That is what happened. But, Bernie's just a really polite guy. I think that there is even a possibility that this news anchor that was asking Bernie about this wasn't even trying to act in bad faith. There is a possibility that she is just so in the zeitgeist that like Bernie Sanders supporters are like the reason that Hillary Clinton lost in 2016 that she genuinely might not have known. Now, it's unfortunate that she didn't actually look at the numbers when she's making these claims, but I wouldn't even fault her that much because it is like, it's just, that's just what people believe. And I'm so glad that Bernie Sanders is finally correcting people about that, because they're going to try and do it again. If Joe Biden loses in 2020, they are 100% going to blame Bernie, which is absurd. Bernie dropped out early in my opinion, to support Joe Biden. He's been doing rallies, and there is a chance that if they were doing rallies right now, that Bernie Sanders would do more rallies than Joe Biden would do, just because Joe Biden was doing like no rallies before COVID hit. And so there is a chance that Bernie would do more rallies than Joe Biden would. And so just this notion that it is Bernie's fault if Joe Biden loses is crazy. What more do people want from him? And the other problem is, it wasn't even an issue in 2016, and like Bernie is finally bringing it up. I don't remember during the primary seeing him really put it out there as blatantly as that, making the comparison to Hillary Clinton voters in 2008 voting for John McCain. I was so glad he's finally making that comparison. He's finally letting people know. Obviously, it's a little later than usual, but just I hope that more people see that. I hope that he says that more people. And the other thing is, like, I don't even get what the point of asking Bernie Sanders this is, because it's like, he's endorsed Joe Biden. He's campaigning for Joe Biden. What more do they want for him other than a way out in case Joe Biden loses? That's all it is. They are looking for an excuse if Joe Biden loses. And it's so upset. And just the entitlement that they feel to Bernie Sanders supporters. Like, can anyone point me to a time in history where the primary challenger has been expected to, like, rally support the same way that people expect that from Bernie Sanders? Like, I've never seen something like this before, where like it's entirely his fault and not on the onus of the person who won the primary to gain the support. It's just bizarre. And I think, I mean, and in no other situation will you see this. I mean, just recently in New York's in one of the districts in New York, in AOC's primary race, Michelle Caruso Cabrera ran a very, very like harsh campaign against AOC. She said a ton of like really hurtful things towards her. I use hurtful maybe kind of loosely. She said a lot of negative things about AOC. In the general election, you will have no one blaming Michelle Caruso Cabrera for AOC like being at risk or anything, because it's absurd. It's a primary. You're allowed to say things in a primary because you are trying to win. And so this idea that Bernie Sanders is unallowed to like criticize the people he's running against, it's just a false narrative. It's a way to use it as an excuse in case Joe Biden loses. It's used as an excuse because Hillary Clinton lost. And I'm glad that Bernie is finally, standing up to it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you disagreed with anything I said, please leave a comment down below. But if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.